Two, three. Right, good evening again. And for once, the sun is shining up at Benyar. And it's been a good week. And Leslie's had a significant birthday. And, always been one to push the boat out. What did you get you, dear? I got you amongst, well, no, not amongst. The total sum was a pair of oven gloves.
Oh,
Silicone, none of your cloth rubbish. And a duster. Not just a thing on a stick that you can reach up and get the cobwebs with. And
has she got the costume to go with that? I'm just wondering.
oh, she charges extra for uniforms. And a welly boot scraper. And
Edna.
a Mexican cookbook. And that was it. I mean, what more could a woman want?
Well, the Porsche is on order, I guess. Is it mail order, the Porsche?
So, anyway, as Derek Bockgray would say, Shamai. So, right, we've got a lovely new face in the beard competition with Gaffer tonight. We've got Storm all the way from Massachusetts in the US of A. So we'll be hearing from him a little bit later, but first we've got Mike Hawkins with the words written down. Come on, over to you then, Mike.
I may not read them, but they they are here. This first song is called "The Cliffs of Dunedin." You may travel far, far from your own native home. Far away o'er the mountain, far away o'er the foam. But of all the fine places that I've ever seen, there is none that can compare with the cliffs of Dunedin. Take a view o'er the water, fine sights you'll see there. You'll see the high rocky slopes on the west coast of Clwb. The towns of Kilkee and Kilrush can be seen from the high rocky slopes round the cliffs of Dunedin. It's a nice place to be on a fine summer day, watching all the wild flowers that ne'er do decay. The hare and lofty pheasant are plain to be seen, making homes for their young around the cliffs of Dunedin. Fare thee well to Dunedin, fare thee well for a while, and to all the fine people I'm leaving behind, to the streams and the meadows where late I have been, and the high rocky slopes around the cliffs of Dunedin. You may travel far, far from your own native home, far away o'er the mountains, far away o'er the foam. But of all the fine places that I've ever seen, there is none that can compare with the cliffs of Dunedin. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Very nice. You see, didn't forget the words at all.
No, amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. You've got that woman in the back shouting them out to you, have you? That would be a better thing. Give Sheila the words and she can just prompt you.
Sheila's very small this evening.
See, well, she's only small.
Or is she far away? I'm just trying to work it out.
Yeah. Well, the Father Ted.
Father Ted, wasn't it? Small, far away.
Yeah. Oh, right. The second song is called "Just as the Tide Was Flowing." It was written. It's an Elizabethan song, actually. It was written as a poem to start with, and someone set it to music a few hundred years ago. There's quite a lot of versions of it about, but this one's the happy version. This one's the nice one where no one dies, no one gets hurt, everyone lives happily ever after. Really, but make sure you stay awake. I've got the words here, but as you can see, they're sideways. I can't read them, all right? You happy, John? Just as the tide was flowing. One morning in the month of May, down by some rolling river, a jolly sailor I did stray, where I beheld some lover. She carelessly along did stray, a picking of the daisies gay, and sweetly sang a roundelay, just as the tide was flowing. Her dress it was as white as milk, and jewels did adorn her. Her shoes were made of crimson silk, like any lady of honour. Her cheeks were red, her eyes were brown, her hair in ringlets hanging down, her lovely brow without a frown, just as the tide was flowing. I made a bow and I said, fair maid, how came you here so early? My heart it is by you betrayed, and now I love you dearly. I am a sailor home from sea. If you accept my company, we can walk and watch the fishes play, just as the tide was flowing. No more was said, and on our way we ganged along together. The small birds sang and the lambs did play, and pleasant was the weather. When we grew weary we sat down among the trees with their branches round. I knew my own true love I'd found, just as the tide was flowing. One morning in the month of May, down by some rolling river. A jolly sailor I did stray, where I beheld some lover. She carelessly along did stray, a picking of the daisies gay, and sweetly sang a roundelay, just as the tide was flowing.
Lovely.
Thank you very
Very
much.
nice,
Thank you.
Michael. Very nice.
You're too good for this place.
Yeah, I reckon.
Right, I see. Oh, this week we have been joined by Mr. and Mrs. Jenkins. Oh, how good of you to join us this week. Where were you last week?
Family. They descended on us.
Well, we could.
They
You
could
could
join the chorus, couldn't they?
Yeah, you could squash on the settee, couldn't you?
Well, what do you think we are, the Simpsons?
I'm saying nothing about that.
I knew
Right,
you
it's a toss-up this week. Who we take the piss out of? If it's back to Edna, if it's you. We'll think about that as time goes on, I think.
John, look, broad shoulders. You can take it.
Edna's very quiet.
Okay.
Oh, it's Mr. Shepherd. Oh, I've asked Edna to unmute herself, John.
Hey, I've been muted.
I thought I'd better give Edna the opportunity to respond.
There we go.
Say turkey, Edna. Say turkey.
Turkey.
There we are. Lovely. All right, John, I'll mute her now before she goes off.
Yeah, she'll be off on one. She'll never stop. Right, me next. So, what we do? A song written by a Scotsman, not particularly a Scottish song, written by a Scotsman, Dave Gibb, called The Soldier's Song. I've fought for survival, I've fought for beliefs. I've been fighting since time first began. Since we learned to walk upright, I've been marching to war. It's the curse that's the burden of man. I've been hailed as a hero and damned as a fool by those I'm sworn to defend. But no matter how far or how long I'm away, wanna get back home again. And I may not return in the way we had hoped, not in the way we had dreamed, but if all that remains are the memories you hold, that will be alright by me. I've fought in the heather on wild windy hills, I've fought through the deserts of Spain. I have fought for the Raj where my body lies still. I have fought through the Normandy rain. I have fought as a hero and fought as a fool. I've cried and I've died all alone. But no matter wherever this body may fall, the spirit will find its way home. And I may not return in the way we had hoped, not in the way we had dreamed. If all that remains are the memories you hold, that will be alright by me. And I may not return in the way we had hoped, not in the way we had dreamed. But if all that remains are the memories you hold, that's be alright by me. Right, what's it? Oh, yeah, we did.
Your fans were very impressed, John. Your fans were very impressed. Well, that's my biggest fan anyway.
I'm not. Did anything hit it?
No. Your guitar was marginally stronger than you would wish, I think, John. I didn't, not so strong I would stop you, but it was just a tiny touch heavy on guitar. I can't say Mickey Most is listening because he's not with us anymore.
That's tweaked affection then. Right, we did give Edna a bit of a hard time last week, didn't we? So anyway, this is one I know that Edna likes, so it's a shame to ruin it for her, really. Maggie. I wandered today to the hill, Maggie, to watch the scene below, the creek and the rusting old mill, Maggie, as we used to long, long ago. Green grove is gone from the hill, Maggie, where once the first daisy sprung. The creaking old mill is still, Maggie, since you and I were young. They say that I'm feeble with age, Maggie. My steps are much slower than then. My face is a well-written page, Maggie, and time all home is the pen. They say that we've outlived our time, Maggie, as ancient songs that we've sung. But to me you're as fair as you were, Maggie, when you and I were young. Say that we've outlived our time, Maggie, as ancient songs that we've sung. But to me you're as fair as you were, Maggie, when you and I were young. When you and I were young. There we are.
Very nice. Better balance, John. Lovely. Lovely.
That's me out the way. Right.
Oh, we need to unmute.
We have a
Along the way,
special
don't we?
treat tonight, don't we?
Gone on there.
All the way from Massachusetts, in the land of Trump,
Oh no, it's areas where
we have Storm with facial hair to match Gaffers. I've got to say, very, very impressive, and a bit more neatly groomed than Gaffers, I would say.
Yeah, but he's got the expanded version.
Yeah,
Right.
I think you're talking a tighter knit pair here. If we're going to get technical, I think Storm's on the tighter knit side.
Right.
Yeah, I think Gaff maybe needs a bit of conditioner.
Well, bodmen is bodmen. You can't help things from bodmen. You know, wild. They're born wild, feral.
He's got a broader face to begin with.
Aha! Oh, there's a fight coming on. Gaff he'll get his chance to come back.
Right. If
Oh,
you,
no, I'm surrendering.
we'd love you just to tell us a little bit about yourself, Storm, as well, since we
Okay.
haven't seen you before. So
Yeah.
I will mute myself and I will leave it all to you.
All right. Well, as we've heard, my name is Storm. I'm from Greenfield, Massachusetts, which is in western Massachusetts. If anyone has ever heard of any place near here, it's usually Northampton, Mass, or Brattleboro, Vermont. And if you travel straight due north from Northampton towards Brattleboro, Greenfield is halfway between them. Other than that, we're not near anything you've probably heard of. And I am disabled at this point, but I'm also ordained as a metaphysical minister on one side. On the other side, I helped found a Morris team 40 years ago, and I am on the steering committee of a organization called the People's Music Networks for Songs of Freedom and Struggle. So I sort of cover all the bases. I've been a poet since I was in 7th grade and a songwriter since about, well, I probably wrote one or two back then, but more regularly since, the about mid 1970s. And let's see, what else can I say? I have a very involved, multiply handicapped daughter who's in medical care in another state. And usually I can see her about every 2.5 months. But I haven't been able to see her since November. She's nonverbal and autistic, so we can't talk on the phone or write letters back or forth or Zoom. And so I have no idea when I'll next see her. And I do things like this to keep myself sane. And I've really enjoyed your company so far, and I look forward to enjoying it much more as the evening progresses. So these are both original, and the poem is called Rural Lad, and the song is called Diane's Tune. I was not a farm boy, rising at 5 to milk and plow. Still I have known the smell of cows and barn, walked through chip-strewn pastures and scooped fresh cream from many a bottle's neck. I have watched sunlight dance in forest glades and fireflies excite the night, lain in grassy fields blowing music on a blade, and cultivated figures in the clouds. I have learned the secret lairs of trout, of spotted fawns, still wobbly from their birth, gathered clumps of frogs' eggs and watched a green chrysalis ringed with golden stars turn into a monarch in a jar. I have cleared the roads of snow, of mud, of storm debris, raked high the leaves of autumn, and sledded pell-mell down ice-crusted hills. I have thrilled to oxen pulls and felt the ache of muscles stiff from pitching hay. I have sat motionless by streams and hiked for miles undisturbed, following tracks of buck and hare and bear. I have interrupted skunks and raccoons on the porch and lain all night gazing at the stars, listening to fiddles, harmonicas, guitars, and songs. Now I return to all of these in dreams, Though it's the city that's my home, it is the country that's my bones. Well, thank you.
Lovely.
That was absolutely lovely.
Thank you.
What else have you got for Storm?
This is Diane's tune. Well, yesterday it seemed I could make the banjos ring, guitars hum, and pretty voices sing. Yet now there's a cloud where the sun ought to shine. So I'm trying hard to get that brightness back inside my mind. Well, everything keeps moving, people always change, and all that's been my life seems suddenly so strange. I know there must be answers to all I've come to doubt. I think I'll take a break and figure my life out. 'Cause yesterday it seemed I could make the banjos ring, guitars hum, and pretty voices sing. Yet now there's a cloud where the sun ought to shine. So I'm trying hard to get that brightness back inside my mind. Some say that I should travel, visit distant lands. Others say that that's silly, that the answer's where I stand. I've got so many questions, it often makes me cry. Yet I know I can keep going, I know I'm worth the try. 'Cause yesterday it seemed I could make the banjos ring, guitars hum, and pretty voices sing. Yet now there's a cloud where the sun ought to shine. So I'm trying hard to get that brightness back inside my mind. Yes, yesterday it seemed I could make the banjos ring, guitars hum, and pretty voices sing. Yet now there's a cloud where the sun ought to shine. So I'm trying hard to get, yes, I'm trying hard to get, I'm trying oh so hard to get that brightness back inside my mind.
Oh. Oh, where's your hanky, Alan? You don't cope well with sadness, do you?
I was welling up. I was welling up. I'm all right. I'm all right. Yachi da, Bao, by the way. Good evening and welcome and cheers.
We've got Julia join us.
Julia, hello, Julia. Let's have a word, shall we? Hello. Hang on. Click that and say hello.
Hello.
Hey!
Hey!
We have where are you, Julia?
Colwyn Bay.
Oh, right. Almost
I
abroad.
moved down the week before lockdown. So I'm in temporary accommodation waiting for my place to be exchanged. So buying a place. But I'm just living in a, I don't know what you call it, retirement.
That's a good place to be.
A retirement guest room. And my brother lives upstairs, so I've been here for 4 months now, waiting to move. So
Where have you come from, Julia?
Birmingham.
Birmingham.
Yeah, all right.
We've got one or two. We've got a black country lady usually comes on and says, I'm not Birmingham, I'm black country.
Well, there is a difference.
She's away tonight. You'll meet her next week, no doubt, you know.
Yeah.
Have you actually got a property, Julia?
I bought a flat, yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's just a cash sale. So I haven't got one to sell. I'm just buying. He's going to rent somewhere. So I don't know what the hold-up is.
You got a cash sale? Are you a drug dealer?
Cash. No, I ran away from Birmingham with the money.
Ah, right. Well, Glenys will tell you. Glenys always blames the estate agents, I hear. That's
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're looking for property, we've got an estate agent here, but I wouldn't use them myself. She valued somebody's house at $5,000 last week,
she did.
so I wouldn't touch it with a barge pole myself.
Yeah, well,
But,
none of you will talk to me when you know I'm a clinical hypnotherapist.
Oh,
don't look
look
at
some of
my
that.
eyes.
Don't look at the screen. Don't look at the screen. Look away.
My eyes. Look at my eyes. You're back in the room. Yeah. Thank you. We'll mute you and carry on now. Thank you very much, Julia.
Right, I've lost my thread now.
You have.
Is it? It's Ashley's video, is it?
It is. Yeah, it
Right.
is, and I'm trying to do it.
Ashley's been doing his homework for the past few weeks, and he
We need a word from him, really, to explain himself to Andrew.
he's been doing something called Travis picking, which is proper guitar playing. I mean, the stuff I do is just sort of, whatever comes. But Travis picking requires sort of concentration and practice, and you got to know what you're doing.
His manager's there in the background as well, so watch it. She's there.
No, he'll be getting a go later. They
He
usually
will.
have a
Yeah, of course he
have a
will.
domestic about 10 o'clock every night, usually, don't they?
Yeah. And just remember, Ashley.
About 9:45 actually, Alan.
Oh, right. Just remember, Ash, the headmaster is in. Andrew's watching you. He wants a note from your mum for the time it's taken to do the homework because he thought it was easy.
Well, I haven't finished yet.
Yes, well, I think full marks to Ashley for finally getting his homework done.
I shall
Full
bring it
marks.
up next week.
Excellent.
Right.
I shall put it on. Yeah, I'm ready to go, more or less.
Are we queued up?
We are.
If it goes tits up, can I shout at you?
Yeah.
Or not? Can
You
hear
leave
me or
yourself. You leave yourself unmuted, and I'll mute myself. So you carry on. Yeah, yeah. Shout at me if it's not right. Am I ready to go?
Yeah. Whenever you. We can't say any. Oh. He's not moving. We've got a still.
Yeah.
Oh, no, he's moving. He's moving.
I've seen the old man in the closed down market, kicking up the papers in his worn out shoes. In his eyes you can see no pride, and held loosely at his side. Yesterday's paper telling yesterday's news. So how can you tell me that you're lonely and say for that the sun don't shine? Let me take you by the hand and lead you through the streets of London. I'll show you something to make you change your mind.
Great, thank you, Ash. That was great. So we expect a bit more now. We expect verse 2 for a start.
We get verse 2. Yeah, yeah. Lovely.
Right. I need to adjust my microphone. We have Leslie with a fiddle tonight, so I will move. What are you playing, dear?
I'm just going to do one. It's a Scott Skinner tune, a Scottish tune, and it's called The Music of Spain. Thank you.
Yay! Excellent jobbies. Lovely.
Well done, that woman. Second half, Leslie will be back with something about her dialect, Doic, which is what the Aberdeen dialect is known as, and she'll be telling us all about Doic with a few examples.
Ooh.
And probably slagging you off in words that you won't understand. But, right, what's next?
It's the Warbies. The Warbies are... Oh, asked to unmute.
Ah, yes.
Oh, they've unmuted themselves. There they are.
Mr. and Mrs. W.
I did hear you, sir.
Ah, good man.
I always thought dialects just said exterminate, but never mind.
Oh, dear.
The old ones are always the best.
No, the old ones are not the best, John.
That's not. By the way, John, it looks like you've been back in work today with the white T-shirt on. It looks like you've got your
Oh, do you like this?
for pulling teeth.
Let's get it right.
Oh yes, I like that. Painless John.
That was me letterheading. Sort of painless John with a road drill and stuff. Some of the consultants that when I had to write a letter, I think frowned a little bit. They didn't think it was proper.
Oh no, it's not professional. That.
No, but who gives a stuff anyway?
It was like me when I used to go into work in my tie-dye. I used to work with teenagers as a psychiatric nurse. And so just to be part of it, I'd put a tie-dyed T-shirt on and a pair of striped trousers. The trouble is then you had to go into a meeting with the consultant and he was not amused. The kids thought it was great, but there we are.
Now, going back to Ashley with his homework and Mike, Mike's not been playing long. And I don't know about you, John, you're sort of getting towards our age.
I'm 67.
When we were
only a baby.
A youngster. When we were kids, about sort of 12, something like that, and you bought a cheap guitar, the way you learnt it was from Bert Whedon's Play in a Day.
Play all day, every day, without learning a thing. I used to call it. Yeah.
Did you have the book though?
I had the book.
Yeah,
Yes.
everybody had the book. So I want to know, how is Mike learning to play guitar without Bert Whedon's Playing a
Wow.
Day?
It's a very hard thing to do.
Everybody our age bought that book, and it was absolute crap.
And he got to smile like that.
I remember the first two songs. In fact, I went to a Julie Matthews thing at a festival once, and she was chatting about this. And she just asked around the room and see how far everybody got. And most people dropped off at the first song, which was Bobby Shafto. And then a few of the better ones got to the second one, which was There's a Tavern in the Town. And nobody ever got beyond that. Right, let's see. Let's hear from you.
I didn't get past his cheesy grin on the front cover.
No, well, that's it. It's the flashing of the teeth.
Yeah,
It's probably had a cheesy grin because he'd made an arm and a leg with his book.
Well, that's how Mike Hawkins gets away with it. You see, he's got his own cheesy grin, so he doesn't need Bert Whedon's cheese. Look at that. There it is. There it is. Lovely. Time for me to zip.
Right, we'll shut up and let you get on with it, John. And then Carol's going to follow you on with a bucket and shovel.
I'm going to have to dig out some other songs, but I'm going to play this one because I like it. It's my signature song. It's called Dragons, and I wrote it after a walk around the fields. There was no illicit substances involved, may I say, at this moment in time. There are dragons in the hedgerows, ballerinas in the trees, and the clouds are stately galleons floating on the breeze. All these things are yours to see, no matter what your station. Open your eyes, free up your mind, use your imagination. There are fairies in the raindrops, you can see them there, caught within the moonlight, dancing in the air. All the myths and legends that were told by mortal man still exist. Look through the mists, find them once again. We're bound by facts and science to see only the mundane, but magic lies beneath all things and may yet rise again. The world of power and money is giving men such pain. If you talk of any other, they'll brand you as insane. But love's the thing that keeps us going, love's the thing that marks us out. Love's the thing that keeps me thinking, it's what this world should be about. For there are dragons in the hedgerows, ballerinas in the trees, and the clouds are stately galleons floating on the breeze. All these things are yours to see, no matter what your station. Open your eyes, free up your mind, use your imagination. Woo! Thank you.
I was sure Carol was about to join in the chorus then, the imagination. You look poised.
Okay, I'll do a Steel Eye Span one now, I think. No, it's not, it's Fairport. They used to say there'd come a day and we'd all be making songs or finding better words. The these ideas never lasted long. The way is up along the road, the air is growing thin. Too many friends have died, blown off this mountain by the wind. Meet on the ledge, we're gonna meet on the ledge. When my time is up, I'm gonna see all my friends. Meet on the ledge, we're gonna meet on the ledge. If you really mean it, it all comes round again. Now I find I'm all alone, and that's the only way to be. You'll have your chance again, then you can do the same for me. Meet on the ledge, we're gonna meet on the ledge. When my time is up, I'm gonna see all my friends. Meet on the ledge, we're gonna meet on the ledge. If you really mean it, it all comes round again. Meet on the ledge, we're gonna meet on the ledge. When my time is up, I'm gonna see all my friends. Meet on the ledge, we're gonna meet on the ledge. If you really mean it, it all comes round again.
Yes!
Thank you.
Lovely.
I wanted to join in with that.
Well, you should have done.
Yeah, well, I come in 4 seconds late, don't I? So,
Well, if you're muted, it doesn't matter.
but no, we had a good night again on Tuesday at Dragon's Breath. But I've got to ask Glenys, can we unmute Glenys?
We can unmute Glenys.
Oh, yes, indeed.
I had a problem singing along with that because I'm vegetarian, you see, and I can't sing about meat, whether it's on the ledge or anywhere. I can't do it.
And I'm vegetarian too.
Oh, there we are. There we are.
Where's Glenys?
She's there.
Can she unmute?
I've asked her. I'll ask her again.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, it was a good night on Tuesday, but I've got to ask you, Glenys, what the hell were you doing? Were you making a shroud or something?
No. Curtains, believe it or not.
Curtains?
Curtains. Oh.
Curtains, yeah. Oh. A shroud. Oh, my God.
It looked like a shroud.
No, curtains.
It'll be curtains for you, John, if you don't watch yourself.
Yeah, everybody else is...
I hope they don't turn out looking like a shroud.
Julia might be knitting, and Carol's always knitting.
Yeah.
Evelyn is knitting, is she?
Oh, yeah, let's have a word with Evelyn. Evelyn, ça va?
Oui, ça va.
Oui. Ti'n croeso yma?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Diolch, yeah.
You're part of our international, the international flavour of the evening, you see.
Yes, of course, yes. Wyn high.
Well, da iawn, yeah. Diolch.
Da iawn, yeah.
She's gone. She's gone. She's knitting. She's happy knitting and wittering. What have we got, John?
We're staying with Mr. and Mrs. W, and I think
yes, of course.
John's going to nudge along the settee there, and then we can hear Carol.
I shall move myself.
Change of seats.
Is it just one now and one in the second half, or do you want two now, or what do you want, John?
I would, if you're doing two, I'd prefer one now and one second half, please.
That's smashing, I can do that. So this one's called Bafflement and Confusion. I'm baffled and confused by scientific fact. Like if the moon's bright light is reflected sunlight, why is the night sky so black? I'm amused and a little puzzled. When to the dentist's I go. How easily he can pull a tooth from the top or the bottom row. Yet when a skeleton is found, buried many years before, all the teeth that person had are still firmly in the jaw. I'm more than just a little perplexed when watching an incoming sea with the white-crested waves rolling in towards me. Yet if I move from north to south at the same time of day, why is the movement of the tide not going the other way? And when I look at the night sky and all the stars I see, to be told that they are really suns, well, that blows my mind completely. So I think I'll stay just as I am, with a simple belief in things. Like the moon has the face of a man. I've forgotten the last line, I'm sorry. There's a star in the sky for each one of us, and the moon has the face of a man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, that's always brilliant, Carol. You've got an E, haven't you, on the end?
I have, yes.
Yeah, because I don't want to get a bollocking tomorrow when you mention you in the blog, because I'm blogging this week.
Oh, right.
But, if I miss the E off, I know I'll be in deep, deep doodies.
I would forgive you.
He seemed to disagree with pulling the tooth out of the jaw quite easily,
He did.
didn't
It's not always easy. It's not always easy. It can be difficult. And it's
Just
not
remember, John, Carol rhymes with parole. If he's going to put it in a verse, that'll be 5 guineas for that one. Thank you. Always charge guineas. Your mother needs the shillings.
I can see some of you were disappointed tonight when Leslie was playing the fiddle that she wasn't wearing her new oven gloves.
Oh, well.
I've got to say, yeah, ungrateful. That's, what can you say? Best silicone.
Oh, dear me.
Right.
I think you might be removing them from certain areas if you're not careful, John.
Right, what have we got? Oh, now it's part 2 of the beards. It's the gaffer.
He's there and he's unmuted and
he's unmuted,
raring to go.
Yeah, I am, yes.
How did Sidmouth go there, gaffer?
Well, I did me bit on terms of being virtual. And obviously I have to dress for the part, so we got the old trousers and everything, And there was a scurrilous rumour around that I only had one pair of aces. Well, there you go.
Is that a giant bow tie that you've got under the beard?
This one? Yeah,
Yes.
fair, good size. It doesn't revolve, it'll take my head off.
I think you win in width and I win in length.
Yeah. And in snowy white purity, I'd say it was pretty well even there.
Right, I'll let you get on with it, yeah.
But what's on top? What's under the hat?
Well, I keep me brain under me hat, Storm. I couldn't find a better place to put it, but I got a few hairs. There you go.
You got me completely covered in that regard.
Oh, yes. Yes, you'd probably have to... I think we have to agree on that, yeah. Well, I thought, as we have a revolutionary from Massachusetts, I'd sing a song about my very, very favourite fascist. it wasn't difficult to choose him because I didn't like any of the other ones, but this particular one, he wasn't perfect. He was a popinjay, he was a dandy, he was vain, he was arrogant, but he did have the very good manners to die before he could kill anyone. And if all fascists had that to be encouraged trait, then I think the world would have been a much, much happier place. This guy was supposed to take over the Spanish Revolution and overthrow Azaña's republic. And his name was José Sanjurjo Sacanell, and he was in exile in Portugal, and Franco was in North Africa. I think Moro was in the Canaries, or vice versa, and they all had to fly into Spain and take control of the country, and the boss was supposed to be Sanjurjo. But unfortunately, he thought it was much more romantic to fly in a little two-seater light aircraft than it was to fly in anything more capacious. But he did want to carry rather a lot of stuff with him, and it turned out it was a bit too much, and he wrapped the aircraft around a tree at the end of the runway, and that was the end of his revolution. And that's why we got 40 years of misery under Franco. Oh, revolution's in the air, but the general is not. As a boxer too of odds and ends remembers he's forgot. For trivial things like payloads he would never give a toss. So just pilot in their pilot and remember who's the boss. Oh, no minuto, stop the bloody plane. You can call me arrogant, you can call me vain, but how do you expect a bloke to seize control of Spain? Without me fancy uniforms, they'd send me back again. Oh, poor bloody pilot, what a choice he's got. Dying in a plane crash or in front the firing squad. He starts to fret, he done half sweat, he's terrified, poor chap, as a great big sack of uniforms plonks on the general's lap. Now, no minuto, stop the bloody plane. You can call me arrogant, you can call me vain, but how do you expect a chap to seize control of Spain? Without me ceremonial swords, they'd send me back again. Oh, poor bloody pilot, what a choice he's got between dying in a plane crash or in front of the firing squad. He starts to quake and shiver and shake, in fear his hands he wrings, as a bunch of ceremonial swords he straps across the wings. Ah, who no minuto, stop the bloody plane. You can call me arrogant and you can call me vain, but how do you expect a chap to seize control of Spain? Without me maps and memoirs, they send me back again. Oh, poor bloody pilot, what a choice he's got between dying in a plane crash and in front the firing squad. He starts to quail, goes deathly pale, his heart missed many a beat, as piles and piles of documents he stuffed below the seat. Oh, no minuto, stop the bloody plane. You can call me arrogant, you can call me vain, but how can you expect a chap to seize control of Spain? Without me rows and rows of medals, they would send me back again. Oh, poor bloody pilot, what a choice he's got between dying in a plane crash or in front the firing squad. He gets goosebumps, his poor heart thumbs. Never was man so pale as a sack and a half of medals he stuffs inside the tail. Oh, uno minuto, stop the bloody plane. You can call me arrogant, you can call me vain, but how do you expect a bloke to seize control of Spain? Without me big black stallion, they'd send me back again. Oh, revolution's in the air, but the general's on the deck, piled up up at the end of the runway with his plane wrapped round his neck. His arrogance and his vanity was all we had to thank for 40 years of misery in the land of Uncle Frank. There you go. I think it's only fair I should follow that with my least favourite fascists. Rather a longer list, I'm afraid. Now this is something that sort of nearly got recorded because Jeff had his microphones and so on, and they were pointing at me, but apparently I wasn't pointing at them. And so tonight I shall try and do the pointing at microphone version so that I can be heard. I wish you never happened, Adolf Hitler. I wish you never happened, Adolf H. I wish that history had turned out differently and never got beyond the Second Reich. I wish your mother never flaming had you. I wish that she had kept her maidenhead, or used a rather thicker contraceptive, or waltzed some other Austrian to bed. Now I wish you never happened, Mussolini. I wish you never happened, Benny M. If it takes so many crimes to get the trains to run on time, I'd sooner hang round longer for me train. I wish your mother never flaming had you. I wish that she had kept her maidenhead, or used a rather thicker contraceptive, or took someone better looking off to bed. Now I wish you never happened, Hirohito. I wish you'd never happened, Emperor. I wish that poor Japan had found a rather better man, a man of peace and not a man of war. I wish your mother never flaming had you. I wish that she had kept her maidenhead, or used a rather thicker contraceptive, or took somebody less regal off to bed. Now I wish you'd never happened, Joseph Goebbels. I wish you'd never happened, Joseph G. God knows why the fatherland had to trust its propaganda to the biggest flaming lie in Germany. I wish your mother never flaming had you. I wish that she had kept her maidenhead, or used a rather thicker contraceptive, or at least they took a human off to bed. Now I wish you'd never happened, Vidkun Quisling. I wish you'd never happened, Vidkun Q. I wish those fine Norwegian folk had found a rather better bloke than an evil, stinking, thieving turd like you. I wish a mother never flaming had you. I wish that she had kept her maidenhead, or used a rather thicker contraceptive, or just took hot water bottles off to bed. Now I wish you'd never happened, General Franco. I wish you'd never happened, General F. I wish that poor old Spain had been spared such grief and pain, and been spared so many, many needless deaths. Oh, I wish your mother never flaming had you. I wish that she had kept her maidenhead, or used a rather thicker contraceptive, or took somebody respectable to bed. I wish you never happened, Marshal Pétain. I wish you never happened, Marshal P. I wish you and Laval and your collaborator pals had never set up shop down in Vichy. I wish your mother never flaming had you. I wish that she had kept her maidenhead, or used a rather thicker contraceptive, or took any other Frenchman off to bed. I wish you never happened, Germany calling. I wish you never happened, Lord Haw Haw. I wish your dulcet tones had never graced that microphone, and whoever wired it up had wired your jaw. I wish your mother never flaming had you. I wish that she had kept her maidenhead, or used a rather thicker contraceptive, or took someone somewhat quieter to bed. I wish you never happened, Hermann Goering. I wish you never happened, Hermann G. I wish Luftwaffe planes had smaller tanks and shorter range and crashed before they crossed from Germany. I wish your mother never flaming had you. I wish that she had kept her maidenhead, or used a rather thicker contraceptive, or took a different flabby addict off to bed. I wish you never happened, Adolf Hitler. I wish you never happened, Adolf H. I wish that history had turned out differently and never got beyond the Second Reich. I wish your mother never flaming had you. I wish that she had kept her maidenhead, or used a rather thicker or more liable contraceptive, or waltzed some other Austrian to bed. There we go.
How many verses in that, Gaff?
There are a few fascists who slipped through, but I'll get him in another version.
John was telling me last week that when we do our sound checks, if I'm going to belt it out live, I should belt it out in the sound check. We did sound check with Gaffer earlier, and he was singing something really gentle. So we set the sound really gentle, and then he's belting it out. It's lovely watching people, Gaff, leaning forward to switch their volumes down.
They were trying to hear a bit better, I think.
Absolutely right. Yeah, it was lovely, lovely. Did you write that?
Yes.
Well, so there's only one person to blame then.
Well, yeah.
I've got to give him a clap.
Lovely, lovely, excellent job. Yeah.
I can't decide if Edna's there or not. It's all gone dark.
Edna, it's gone dark where in Edna's world. Oh, aye, it has. Perhaps they've not nipped outside for a quick one, John.
Yeah, that
a fag.
that line,
I
I wish they'd use a thicker or more reliable contraceptive. Reminded me of something that I only came across last New Year when Andy Anderson was up here. And I was talking to Keith Price last Saturday morning, as is my wont. And getting off at Edge Hill. Does that mean anything to anybody except Edna? Anyway, we won't,
Yes,
yeah.
definitely. Going from Runcorn to Liverpool, you pass through Edge Hill.
Yes, but the thing is, Edge Hill is the stop before Lime Street.
Yeah.
So getting off at Edge Hill means you pull out before the final junction, and this is often used in a contraceptive term apparently in Liverpool. So if you okay, I've been told that's enough. So you get off at Edge Hill.
Yeah.
Right, who's next? Oh, it's T. Gwyn. A bit of culture. Oh, has Alan frozen? No, is I think Alan's setting up. You're muted, Alan. I can't hear you. I can see you looking at a screen.
Back from our second visit to daughter down south, finished her gardening for her, and she was very grateful. And it was wonderful to spend some time with Amelia. My affliction, and this is not a rude gesture, my finger is healing, although not healed enough yet to attempt guitar work. So I'm sending in my usual Welsh one recorded, because we can do the overlay and the translation, and I'll do some other stuff if asked live on Friday. This is a traditional piece called Paid a Deud, do not tell, and it's advice from the mystic past to people, which still holds good, in fact. Paid a Deud. Os yw'ch galon bron a thorri, paid a deud. Am bod serch dy fron yn oeri, paid a deud. Ac os chwalu maid obeithion, paid a deud. Ni ddaw neb I drwsiot galon, paid a deud. Pan bo stormydd byd yn gwgu, paid a deud. A gelynion am dyfeiddi, paid a deud. Ac os weithiau byddi'n llwyddo, paid a deud. Hawdd i'th lwydd fynd trwy dy ddwylo, wrth it ddeud.
Thank you, Gwen. It is so much better with the subtitles, I've got to say, then we know what's going on. Yeah, we'd love to do one live now.
You can appreciate the problem from the other side. We should have subtitles as well. Right, this is...
Good man.
Yeah, this is...
Lean forward so I can slap you.
Finally breaking out of lockdown. It's been quite therapeutic in many, many ways. I called in Cardiff on the way to my daughter's to visit a friend who's had a stroke, and I was expecting the worst, but I found the best. It made me realise that us as a generation, I'm thinking of the 50s, 60s generation, we've redefined old age. We refuse, what did Pete Townsend and the Who say? I hope I die before I get old. And Bob Dylan's Forever Young. These are redefinitions of the idea of old age. And this is by Roger McGough, one of the Liverpool poets. Adrian Henry, Roger McGough and Brian Patton had that famous book in the early 60s, The Mersey Poets. And this is one called Let Me Die a Young Man's Death. Let me die a young man's death, not a clean and in between the sheets holy water death, not a famous last words, peaceful out of breath death. When I'm 73 and in constant good tumour, may I be mown down at dawn by a bright red sports car on my way home from an all-night party. Or when I'm 91 with silver hair and sitting in a barber's chair, may rival gangsters with ham-fisted Tommy guns burst in and give me a short back and insides. Or when I'm 104 and banned from the cavern, may my mistress, catching me in bed with her daughter and fearing her son, cut me up into little pieces and throw away every piece but one. Let me die a young man's death, not a free from sin, tiptoe in, candle wax and waning death. Not a curtains drawn by angels born. What a nice way to go, death.
The only way to go.
Well, yes. Ambition to live forever. So far, so good.
Hey, young, keep your wheels in motion.
Yes.
Song as well.
Right, it's the last one of the first round. It's young Alan.
Greg's at the bottom of the barrel. Here we go.
What you playing tonight?
I'm playing a little guitar, a little Takamine.
Your little take mine.
It's a Takamine. It's a mahogany It's a it's a mahogany guitar. So, and it's a lovely little thing, and I bought it for going on holidays because it's a little less room in the car. But it makes a gentler sound, and because I use these finger picks, I tend to make too much noise. So here's a song from a Scotsman turned Canadian. He lives in Canada now, and just to make matters worse, his name is David Francie. So from Francie to Scotland to Canada. And it's a song called Saints and Sinners, and there are sound effects in it. The Rings a Bell comes in. You may remember it from the last time I played it. Quite a while since, anyway. I remember the lessons. No, that's not it, right? Ah! Excuse me, we may just cut that little bit out when we do the recording. I haven't got the words in front of me, you see, Mike. That's the trouble. Here we go. It was Sunday morning in our town, and I sat on my steps and stared at the ground. Bowed my head as they shuffled past, all the saints being called for their morning mass. And off in the distance there rang a bell, way off in the distance there rang a bell. It rang for the saints and the sinners as well, way off in the distance there rang a bell. I remember the lessons of Sunday school, and I can't help but think maybe I'm the fool. But I see no sign of a greater plan, just the joys and the sorrows of my fellow man. And off in the distance there rang a bell, way off in the distance there rang a bell. It rang for the saints and the sinners as well, way off in the distance there rang a bell. And here we stand as life rushes past, between the first breath and the last. And here we stand between east and west, here we stand between birth and death. I was watching the news the other night. There was a war on the left, there was a war on the right. And it's no surprise that it's us or them. It's a long way from heaven to Bethlehem. And off in the distance there rang a bell, way off in the distance there rang a bell. It rang for the saints and the sinners as well, way off in the distance there rang a bell. And here we stand as life rushes past, between the first breath and the last. And here we stand between east and west, here we stand between birth and death. It was Sunday morning in our town, and I sat on my steps and stared at the ground. Bowed my head as they shuffled past, all the saints being called for their morning mass. And off in the distance there rang a bell, way off in the distance there rang a bell. It rang for the saints and the sinners as well, way off in the distance there rang a bell, way off in the distance there rang a bell. There we go. Excuse me. A little frog, a little frog. I'm going to move on to a Welsh one. This is for Natasha, who's not with us this evening. She may watch the YouTube recording.
Have you got subtitles there, boy?
Well, T. Gwyn can mime the subtitles for you. It's one of T. Gwyn's favourites. I know it's called Hanes and y Lluniau, which is history or story, history in the pictures. And it's all about hiraeth for a person. Young people, we feed them, we educate them, and they bugger off, don't they? They just leave. And this is parents wishing that their son or daughter would come back, and how life goes. I added the last verse when I was 60 some time ago. Hanes and y Lluniau. Oh, I should say, it's by a chap called Al Lewis from Pwllheli area. I'm not quite sure exactly, but it's around about Pwllheli. Rwyt ti'n 23, pryd ti'n mynd I ddod adre, adre. Ers y gydawes ti, mae na ormod o wagle yn ein catre. Bues ti'n byw yn y ddinas, y slawer I hir. O dy hanes yn y lluniau, mae nhw'n atgof ar ein waliau. Ti'n meddwl yn ôl, ai dyma dy gatref yn dy gof. Rwyt ti'n 28, wyt ti'n meddwl ddod adre, adre. Ti wedi ffwyr nith ers 11 o flynyddau, drwy'n dy graig. Dy fam a dy dad yn dy fethu, a'r teulu I gyd. O dy hanes yn y lluniau, mae nhw'n atgof ar ein waliau. Ti'n meddwl yn ôl, ai dyma dy gatref yn dy gof. Rwyt ti'n 35, graig a phlant yn y gatref, rwyt ti adref. Cofio ddod i'n gweld a thynnu ddigon o luniau, o luniau. Dy fam a dy dad yn dy fethu, llawer I hir. O dy hanes yn y lluniau, mae nhw'n atgof ar ein waliau. Ti'n meddwl yn ôl, ai dyma dy gatref yn dy gof. Rwyt ti'n 30 rwan, wir a sy'n chwarae yn dy gatref. Cofia mam a dad ac anfon llawer o luniau, o luniau. Dy fam a dy dad yn dy fethu, a'r teulu I gyd. O dy hanes yn y lluniau, mae nhw'n atgof ar ein waliau. Ti'n meddwl yn ôl, ai dyma dy gatref yn dy gof. O dy hanes yn y lluniau, mae nhw'n atgof ar ein waliau. Ti'n meddwl yn ôl, ai dyma dy gatref yn dy gof. There we are. There we are.
Fabulous.
Ah, lovely song.
Lovely, lovely, lovely.
Al Lewis. He lives in London now. He moved from Pwllheli and he writes in English and in Welsh. And he releases Welsh language albums and English language albums. Very, very clever lad. Bless him. He's only about 17. No, he's more than that. He's about 28 now, I think. He's very experienced. Smashing. Thank you.
Right, very, very nice, Alan. Right, that's the end of part one, really. So we will sort of head round again, I think, really. I'm meant to be doing the blog tomorrow because for the new faces that don't know, on the website you will find an approximation of what goes on tonight. When I do it, it's more approximate than when other people write it. But there we are. So
well,
you can,
for Storm's benefit, John, Storm, the website is nice and easy. It's www.Rhyl Folk Club, all one word, rylfolkclub.com. That's all you need to know. Everything's on there.
Yeah.
If someone puts it in the chat, I'll cut and paste it.
I'll do exactly that. I'll do it. John. Yeah.
And we have a Facebook page as well, Friends of Rhyl Folk Club. So you can either find the link on the Facebook page, or if you go to the website, it's under Friday Night What Happened. So that usually gets posted round about 11 o'clock-ish, something like that. But I've been enjoying myself tonight, and with sort of running it as well, I haven't made much in the way of notes, so it's going to be even more made up than usual. So, right, anyway, I know where we started, and it was with Mike Hawkins. So it's back to you, Mike. Oh, you're not unmuted. Let's unmute you.
I'm unmuted.
Oh, there we are.
Okay, so this, are we doing one or two, John?
One.
We've got sort of less than an hour. Let's start off at one, and if we've got 5 minutes spare at the end, we can knock just 2 or 3 people out with an extra one, because we haven't had people like John Killian joining us tonight, so we're 1 or 2 missing. So just leave it at the one for now, and we'll maybe get one in later.
Okie dokie. This song is called The Streets of Forbes. It's about an Australian bushranger. He had a pretty rough deal, really. His father was a deportee to Australia, and they eventually sort of worked their way up to having this farm, not a particularly good farm, but a farm. And because they were deportees there, the police had it in for him, and he was accused of a crime which he didn't commit, or so he says. He didn't commit, and he was thrown in jail. And while he was in jail, his farm went to rack and ruin. So when he came out, there was very little else he could do except go on the rob, really. He became a bushranger, and this is his story. It was supposedly written by his brother, this song. It was in the sort of middle of the 1800s. So, The Streets of Forbes, it's called. Oh, come all you Lachlan men, and the terrible tale I'll tell, concerning a bushranger on whom misfortune fell. His name it was Ben Hall, a man of high renown. He was hunted from his station, and like a dog shot down. 3 years he roamed the road, he showed the trap some fun. £1,000 was on his head, with Gilbert and John Dunn. Ben parted from his comrades, and the outlaws did agree to give away bushranging and cross the raging sea. Ben went to Gooban Creek, and that was his downfall. Riddled like a sieve was valiant Ben Hall. It was early in the morning upon the 5th of May that the 7 police surrounded him as in his sleep he lay. Bill Durbin, he was chosen to shoot the outlaw dead. The others fired madly as if they were afraid. Then they rolled him in a blanket and they tied him to his prod, and they dragged him through the streets of Forbes to show the prize they had. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Very nice. Oh, oh.
Right. Oh, my lady wife has just brought me a bit more liquid refreshment. I think we're on some Welsh cider here now. Right. What am I doing? We have sort of a variety of music on here. There's some traditional, some not traditional, and this is definitely not traditional, although I was working out it's probably about 60 years old now, which is older than one or two of the faces that we've got on here. So you can all join in this at home. I'll all expect you joining in. Love hurts and scars, love wounds and mars any heart not tough or strong enough to take a lot of pain, take a lot of pain. Love is like a cloud, holds a lot of rain. Love hurts. Slow, I know, but even so, I know a thing or two. I've learned from you. I've really learned a lot, really learned a lot. Love is like a flame, burns you when it's hot. Love hurts. Wave on happiness, blissfulness and togetherness. Some folks fool themselves, I guess, but they're not fooling me, 'cause I know it isn't true, no it isn't true. Love is just a lie made to make you blue. Love hurts. Some folks live on happiness, blissfulness and togetherness. Some folks fool themselves, I guess, but they're not fooling me. 'Cause I know it isn't true, no it isn't true. Love is just a lie made to make you blue. Love hurts, love hurts, love hurts. There, that took you all back to your youth, didn't it, eh? The school discos and the rest of it.
You see, you're showing your sensitive side now, John. You've gone out of character totally. Lovely.
Right, I've lost my list.
Storm's next.
Oh, Storm.
I'll ask him to unmute. That's what I'll do. Are you in a teacup over there, by the way? I'm sorry.
Oh, he's put the light on.
Excuse my cheek. Yeah.
Right.
So yesterday, I was the memorial 75th anniversary of the bombing of Hiroshima, and the organization that I helped found, that I'm on the steering committee of, that I put information about in the chat. I was a co-organizer of an international concert we had with people from 6 different countries. I hadn't gotten to you folks yet, but maybe you'll be in the next one. So since I was one of the organizers, I can now say I've been on the same stage as Peggy Seeger and Penny Stone. So it's if you go to the link that I put in there, it's actually archived there. It was quite a concert. We had people zooming in from the country of Georgia and Australia and England and Canada and Scotland and the United States, and about 20 some odd people total. So this is the piece that I did for that. It's a combination of 3 poems and a chorus of a song, and they're all originals. And the poems are called No Nuke's Prayer, August 6th and 9th, 1945, and An Activist's Accomplishment. And the chorus is called Baby Warning Blues. And don't worry, it's all done in under 3 minutes. No Nuke's Prayer. Let our peaceful protests carry to the world the words of danger first spoken by the shadows of the flowers burned onto the walls in Hiroshima. I was not born when the bomb dropped, or rather the bombs. First one on Hiroshima, then another leveling Nagasaki. 2 days long ago, still I know some of what happened then, how the explosions shattered windows, buildings, trees, lives. How the mushroom clouds rose higher and grew till even miles away they could be seen. I have heard of the heat, the screams, and the strange ironies of flowers blooming more beautifully than ever before, perhaps than any since, of people who disappeared yet were recorded forever in silhouettes on walls. All around them burned, yet only their bodies burned where they show. Yes, I have heard of all these things, yet there is one fact I do know. The shadows left behind darken my every day, and so I must spread my light out and never let it be forgotten that we are the ones responsible for making sure that our children see tomorrow. My baby done told me when she was in diapers. My baby done told me when diapers she wore, you better not, you better not, you better watch out, you better watch out, you better watch out for the children. You better not start a nuclear war. After many years of pickets, jails, submitting to ridicule, no steady money, and much frustration, it is like a perfect Hollywood ending when our character gets a job working for peace, meets a lover, and they walk towards the sunset, which still contains no mushroom cloud. Thank you.
Excellent, excellent.
Oh.
Yep.
Right, and
Thank you very much.
we hope you'll be joining us in future there, Storm. As
Absolutely.
Well. We'll enjoyed your stuff tonight. And those of you here, 2 or 3 weeks ago, will remember Mike having a go at silly Scottish words.
Oh.
And it was fortunate not to get his house firebombed, as my wife set off with a couple of petrol bombs. But anyway, tonight she's just going to spend a couple of minutes talking about Doric, which is the sort of Aberdeen dialect, and give you a few choice words in it.
Lovely.
So I will vacate my seat and let you sure you'll be pleased to see my wife rather than my ugly mush. Okay.
Lovely. I've unmuted Michael on the basis of giving him a little more rope, or giving him a shovel so he can dig the hole a little deeper if he wishes.
Oh, well, I've got this T-shirt on, Michael. I think I might have described you as this the other day. Gleckit. It means stupid or foolish or senseless, which was, I think, what you were when you said that, made that comment.
We'll wait and see. Wait and see. Gleckit, eh?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Right, so there have been a lot of dodgy Scottish accents in this folk club in the past couple of weeks. So I thought I'd put it to rights with the real deal. So as many of you know, I come from Aberdeen, or Aberdeen as we call it up there. The Aberdonians are not a hard, aggressive sort, as John might have you believe.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
But they're a gentle and soft-spoken group of people. Our particular area of the northeast has a dialect known as Doric, and while the name comes from the language spoken by the Dorians in ancient Greece, there's no other similarities whatsoever. It's a broad, rural dialect that can be difficult even for other Scots from other parts of the country to understand. It's many of its own words and pronunciations, so much so that it even has its own dictionary. Now, I was going to recite you a wee Doric poem, but I didn't think that anybody would understand it. So I thought I'd just give you a few words and phrases to begin on with. Right. So the first one is loon. And the translation of loon is boy. An example of its use would be, the loon at Kirkbrae has run awa. And in perceived English, this might be, the young man who resides at Kirkbrae has left town indefinitely. The second word is quine. That's spelt Quine, or girl, and that's not girl. You have to roll your R's. An example would be, my quine is half a fine, or I have an exceptionally good-looking girlfriend. That'd be me, of course. The third one is something called a rowie or a buttery. Now, that's a savoury bread roll that comes from Aberdeen. It's probably one of the fattiest things you've ever had for your breakfast, and it's certainly an artery clogger. And the example of use there would be, "Far's my rowie mother?" And that would be translated as, "I've misplaced my salty baked comestible mother. Could you assist in its relocation?" The next one is a word called chuchter, which you've probably heard of. Now, chuchter is a rural dweller. An example of use of that would be, "Yon chuchter's baldy heed it," or "the gentleman from the country is experiencing hair loss." Another is oxter, or armpit. An example of that would be, "I've minky oxters for going to that folk weekend," or "My levels of personal hygiene slipped considerably at that traditional music festival." And finally, and possibly the most famous Aberdonian phrase of all, uses the word fit, F-I-T. Now, fit has a lot of meanings. It can mean foot, the thing at the end of your leg. It can mean fit, as in he or she is fit, and it can mean what. An example is something that you probably hear in shoe shops in Aberdeen, and it says, "Fit, fit, fits, fit, fit." And that means which foot fits which foot. And that's it, really. That was just a wee insect into the spickens of the northeast.
Well. That's there's all sorts of influences in there, aren't there? Loon. I used to know a lady whose surname was Ochterlooney, and I assumed that her mother had 8 boys. I don't know whether that's right.
That's quite good, yeah.
How could I ever have thought that the Scottish language was silly?
I'm sorry, Mike. Could you repeat that?
How could I ever have thought that the Scottish language was silly? Having listened to
Still
that?
not getting it. I'm still not getting it. There you go.
Well, I mean, we don't get up to Aberdeen much now since Leslie lost her mum and dad, 4 or 5 years ago. We occasionally get up to see her uncle Alec, who's 93 is it this year? We were meant to be going up this year, but COVID put paid to that. But you get up there and yeah, they have these things called rowies or butteries, and it's death on a plate. It's just a little sort of a 6-inch disc, about nearly an inch thick, and it's just soaked in saturated fat and salt. And it really is death on a plate. So I try and avoid that. They're quite tasty, but they really should be avoided. Right, it's Mr. and Mrs. Warburton again.
Mrs. Warburton has just kicked the cat out. Right, as I did last week, one of my own songs I did, Younger Man, an anti-war song to mark Hiroshima, but it was only recently I realised it was this week, not last week. So this is a Donovan's. Well, actually, it was written by Mick Softly, but it's from the Universal Soldier EP from 1965. It's called The War Drags On. Whoops. Let me tell you the story of a soldier named Dan. Went out to fight the good fight in South Vietnam. Went out to fight for peace, for liberty and all. Went out to fight for equality. Oh, let's go. found himself involved in a sea of blood and bones. Millions without faces, without hope and without homes. And the guns, they grew louder as they made dust out of bones that the flesh had long since left, just as the people left their homes. And the war dragged on. They're just there to try and make the people free. But the way that they're doing it, it don't seem like that to me. Just more bloodletting and misery and tears that this poor country's known for the last 50 years. And the war dragged from. Last night poor Dan had a nightmare it seems. One kept occurring and reoccurring in his dreams. There were cities full of people burning, screaming, shouting loud. And right there overhead a great orange mushroom cloud. And there's no war, 'cause there's no world. And the tears come streaming down as I lie crying on the ground.
Yeah!
Thank you very much.
Oh, you went for that big time there, John.
Oh, well, sometimes you've got to.
That was very intense, and it was lovely to watch Carol casting off, I think you were, Carol, were you? The time. Knit one, pearl one. Oh, yes. That's it. Lovely.
Right, what have you got for us then, Carol?
Oh, should be all right here.
She'll be all right then.
Yeah.
Kick him off. Go on, give him a boot.
This one's called Balance and Harmony. Have you noticed when something's good, it hardly ever makes the news, even though it should? But when something's wrong or just plain bad, well, the media has a field day, and it drives me mad. And can you tell me why it is? When we're having fun, well, the time just seems to whiz. But when you're sad or you're feeling low, time just seems to drag by very slow. Do you remember as a child in school pretending to be an adult and thinking it was cool? But now you're grown up, well, it seems to me that the inner child within you just longs to be free. And I just think that there should be a bit more balance and a bit more harmony. Don't you think that there should be a bit more balance and a bit more harmony.
Lovely.
Lovely again.
Yes is the answer to the question.
Yes.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Lovely.
Right. And then we are moving on to the gaffer.
Aye.
Oh, right. A Welsh one. Gwerin has my permission to do subtitles in Welsh if he wants to, or to translate it into Welsh if he wants to, and then sing it in Welsh with English subtitles, but which I could probably do because it's in English. There we go. Oh, a building burnt down outside Nebo, and a poor man his life he did lose. And although he was badly disfigured, all the coroner thought it was his. So they took the corpse down to the station, and the desk sergeant down at Llanrwst thought it prudent to phone Messrs. Edwards and Jones, the two half-wits who hung round with Hughes. Now Jones said, I cannot be certain, for his face is so burnt and so bruised. If you just turn him on to his belly, I'll very soon tell if he's Hughes. So they rolled the corpse onto his belly, as Jones had requested they do. After one vacant gaze, he turns round and says, I'm certain this person's not Hughes. The baffled Sarge then sent for Edwards to see if he shared Jones's views. He said, turn the corpse over face downwards, just so that I know if it's Hughes. So they turned the corpse over face downwards, as Edwards had asked them to do. After one dopey look, his daft head he shook, I'm certain this person's not Hughes. This mystified that poor old sergeant, for he viewed no birthmarks or tattoos. How can you both be quite so certain that the lad on that slab isn't Hughes? Well, the corpse just possesses one arsehole, and Hughes was well known to have two. And as this poor corpse appears one arsehole short, we can safely conclude it's not Hughes. Said the sergeant, if I had two arseholes, I'd never confide in you two. And if he neither told you nor showed you, how the dern did ya learn about Hughes? They said, we've both seen thousands of arseholes on lambs and on rams and on ewes, on donkeys and goats, and in Jones's case stoats, but we've neither seen either of Hughes. Said the Sarge, I'm inclined to believe you. There's not much that I'd put past you too. But if he neither showed you nor told you, how the hell could you tell about Hughes? When we three went down to the market, you could hear the good folk of Llanrwst say, there goes old Hughes with those two arseholes of his, the one in the middle is Hughes. There goes old Hughes with those two arseholes of his, the one-legged bugger is Hughes. There you
go. Excellent.
I love a song with a punchline. What key were you in, Gaff? Do you know what key you were in?
Was it anywhere near D?
You were in C concert there.
The concert. Ah, on your tone out. What's a tone between friends?
Oh, indeed. My left hand was giving it some stick while you were doing that.
Right, where's Gwyn? Where's Gwyn? Oh, he's there. Are you doing a live one for us, Gwyn? Yes, I've got a thumbs up. If we can unmute him, that will be perfecto. Right. Oh, yes, he's up and away.
Right, Sheldon Allen Silverstein, American poet, songwriter, singer, cartoonist, but writer of children's books. You'll all know his work. Boy Named Sue he wrote. Put Another Log on the Fire, which was done in the club quite often. The cover of Rolling Stone. One of my all-time favourites is Sylvia's Mother that he wrote for Dr. Hook, and The Ballad of Lucy Jordan, which Marianne Faithfull did a fantastic, unbelievable version. But this is one of his poems. It's called Needles and Pins. I've done it before a couple of times. Shel Silverstein, Needles and Pins. Needles and pins, sew me a sail to catch me the wind. Sew me a sail, strong as the gale. Carpenter, bring out your hammers and nails. Hammers and nails, hammers and nails. Build me a boat to go catching the gales. Chasing the gales, sailing the blue. Find me a captain and sign me a crew. Captain and crew, captain and crew. Take me, oh take me to anywhere new. Shel Silverstein, lovely. Check out his stuff. It's fantastic.
Right. We've been a bit quiet tonight, haven't we? Okay. We've got Alan. We'll let Alan finish it. Oh, he's all strapped up and ready to go.
There's a couple of people who haven't. Oh, she's gone. Oh, right.
Karen's been and gone.
I know there was Karen. I thought we were going to have a word with Karen, but she's gone. Obviously, a Methodist off to an early night, I would think. Anyway, there we are. No offence meant. Other religious cults are available.
Are you sort of geared up for doing one now? And
I'm girded. I'll give you one, John.
Just give us one now, and then I can
see how things go.
Slip one in, and Mike can slip one in.
Lovely.
And you can finish off with something to send us home. Well, we are, aren't we? With a smile on our faces.
I'll try and get the right combination here. I'll be an amen at the end of this. It's a very well-known song, and it's another Welsh one I was doing for Natasha. Everybody knows it. Sing along. Arlan Amor. Arlan Amor, mae rosys cochion. Arlan Amor, mae lilies gwynion. Arlan Amor, mae cariad unne. Yn cysgu nos a chodi bore. Arlan Amor, mae'n carreg wastad, lle bym yn siarad, gair am cariad, o amgylchon, fe dim y lili, ac am exbrygyn, o rosemary. Arlan Amor, mae rosys cochion, Arlan Amor, mae lilies gwynion. Arlan Amor, mae cariad unne, yn cysgu nos a chodi bore. Arlan Amor, mae carreg gleision. Arlan Amor, mae blodau meibion. Arlan Amor, cariadine allan y môr. Mae rosys cochion allan y môr. Mae lilies gwynion allan y môr. Mae cariad hynna yn cysgu nos a chodi bore. Mor hard yw'r hael sy'n codi'r bore. Mor hard yw ymddys am leiliwie. Mor hard yw natur y mehefin. Ond harddach bydd yw wyneb elyn allan y môr. Mae rosys cochion allan y môr. Mae lilies gwynion allan y môr. Mae cariad yna yn cysgu nos a codi bore allan y môr. Mae rosys cochion allan y môr. Mae lilies gwynion allan y môr. Mae cariad yna yn cysgu nos a codi bore. Yn cysgu nos a codi bore. There we are.
Julia's got a blue hand up. Are you wanting to speak to us, Julia?
Oh. Oh, now you can't put your blue hand up without...
Right.
But you're doing all right till you change key, weren't you?
Yeah, I was joining in there and I thought buggers changed keys, so I went from F to G to A there. Right, I'll just do one now and then get one off Mac and then Alan can finish off. So, am I plugged in? Yes. Well, I've really got to do a Scott song tonight, haven't I? How blithe was I each morn to see my lass come o'er the hill. She tripped the burn and ran to me. I met her with goodwill. Oh, the broom, the bonny, bonny broom, the broom of the Cowden hound. Fain would I be in my own country, herding my father's cows. Hard fate that I should banish be, gang wearily and mourn, because I love the fairest lass ever yet was born. Oh, the broom, the bonny, bonny broom, the broom of the Cowden house. Fain would I be in my own country, herding my father's cows. Farewell, ye Cowden hours, farewell, farewell, all pleasures there, to wander by her side again, fain would I be in my own country, herding my father's cows. I should have explained what it was about before I started, really. It was a bloke who sort of fancied this girl, and she was from a rather well-to-do family, so her father had him banished and sent away and told to bugger off and don't come back. So that was what that was about. Right, so Mike, are you just going to do one now?
Do one, Michael.
Do one, Mike. Do it.
Oh, that's better. Okay.
No, it's not. It was better before.
You just have to listen to me for a while. You can turn your sound down. This is a song called "All Things Are Quite Silent," and it's about the press gangs. Sung as most of them are from the point of view of the girl who's left behind when her husband's kidnapped and just goes off with no end in sight, really. You never know whether they'll see each other again or not. All things are quite silent. All things were quite silent, all mortals at rest, when me and my true love lay snug in one nest. Then a bold set of ruffians, they entered our cave, and they forced my poor Jewel to plough the salt wave. I begged hard for my true love as I beg for life, but they'd not list to me, though I a fond wife. Saying the king he needs sailors, to the sea he must go, and they left me lamenting in sorrow and woe. Through green fields and meadows we oft-time did walk, and sweet conversation of love we did talk. All the birds in the woodland so sweetly did sing, and the lovely thrushes' voices in the valleys did ring. Although my love's gone, I will not be cast down. Who knows but my sailor may once more return, then he'll make amends for all trouble and strife, and my love and I will be happy for life. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Very nice.
Yeah, we've been a little bit short on numbers tonight. I think a lot of people have been drinking shandy outside because it's been a nice warm night. And we might not get many more this year. So Alan's got his thing strapped to him.
Oh, how dare you!
Alan can finish off the evening for us. And lovely to see new faces, Storm and Julia. Great to see you. Hope we'll see you back again. And even some of the tired old faces, it's lovely to see you as well. I'm sorry, we haven't taken the piss out of anybody seriously tonight.
Not much, no. We haven't heard from the Stokies. I'm not suggesting you. Let's have a word with the Stokies.
We're all right. We're all right. We're still here.
How are you, Doc?
We're all right. We're all right.
All right, Doc.
Lovely.
Right, yeah, we'll take the piss out of people a bit more next week, I think, possibly, Alan.
Yeah. we've left Storm alone because it's his first time, but next week, look out, Storm. Now that we know you, or we think we do.
Right, what are you going to do for us then tonight?
Well,
to finish
we
off
haven't
out?
done we haven't had any Irish music. I don't think anyone's done an Irish one tonight. It's a bit unusual because we do like Irish music round here. And
it's not
Welsh.
No.
It's not English. It's Irish, John.
It's not whiskey in the jar, is it?
Oh no!
Oh,
It's
that's
a
all right,
gentle
'cause
song.
I was
It's a
going to bugger off if it was that I'd have been
Yeah.
off.
Yeah, it's a gentle song, and because the winter time has passed and the summer's here at last, it's the Clwb of Kildare, and we all know the chorus to this one, and it's Straight I Will Repair to the Clwb of Kildare.
I always thought it was about a bloke who bought a telly, and he said, "And I will take it to repair back to Curry's in Kildare."
Nobody. It must have been traditional because nobody repairs televisions nowadays, do they? Oh, the winter time has passed, and the summer's here at last, and the small birds are singing in the trees. Their little hearts are glad, but mine is very sad. For my true love is far away from me. Come on. And it's straight I will repair to the Clwb of Kildare. For it's there I'll find tidings of my dear. For the rose upon the briar and the waters running clear bring joy to the linnet and the bee. Their little hearts are blessed, but mine can find no rest. For my true love is far away from me. And it's straight I will repair to the Clwb of Kildare. For it's there I'll find tidings of my dear. Oh, I will dress up so fair, and I'll comb back my hair. In velvet so green I will appear. All this I'll undertake for my own true lover's sake. For he is in the Clwb of Kildare, and it's straight I will repair to the Clwb of Kildare. For it's there I'll find tidings of my dear. All you who are in love and cannot it remove, well, I pity all the pain you do endure. For experience lets me know that your heart is full of woe, and it's a love that no mortal man can cure. And it's straight I will repair to the Clwb of Kildare. For it's there I'll find tidings of my dear. And it's straight I will repair to the Clwb of Kildare. For it's there I'll find tidings of my dear. There we are.
Very, very nice.
Nobody dies in that one. It's not a proper traditional song, obviously. Nobody.
Right, well, it's 10:30.
Well, thank you all so much. This has been an absolute delight.
Thank you.
And in
Thank
case
you very much.
I know I put a big piece of information into the chat, but in case anyone doesn't know, if you go down to where it says everyone, and then you see where it says file, and there are 3 little dots, if you click those open, you can save the entire chat.
Whoa. Yeah, I will copy the chat and pass that out to everybody with the video. I think that's the answer, isn't it? The chat, including everybody's dirty little secrets in the chat, will be going out to everybody tomorrow along with the YouTube video.
God, if
Well, you probably have the private parts.
No, I leave the private parts alone. Thank you very much.
What about Hugh's arsehole?
I thought that was excellent, I have to say. I thought there was something coming, and then at the end of it, there goes you with the 2 arseholes. Only brilliant, yeah.
Well, and 1 leg.
Oh yeah. Yeah, people are going to disappear now. Do we want a free-for-all, or are people just going to disappear? What do you reckon, John?
No, it's bedlam. It doesn't work, Alan.
No, it is bedlam.
Right, disappear up our own back passages.
We'll see you next week. Thank you.
All right.
And thanks, everyone, for
Thank
coming.
you so much.
We'll see you next week.
Good night.
Good night.
Good
Good
night,
night. Good night.
Good night.